Welcome back, everyone. Here today with Gabriella Mathisen, who just won the Jungle Ultra. How are you doing?
Very good, very good.
Thank you for coming on with me today. Just as a background before we start, can you kind of tell me your background in running leading up to the Jungle Ultra?
It's been a magical journey. My upbringing when I grew up was really tough with drug abuse. With my parents were drug addicted, and so I grew up really tough and really got into a lot of bad stuff. Everything you really can imagine, like drugs, prostitution. Really into a dark place in my life. But then I wanted really something different with my life. So I basically went to the mountain, and I've been clean for 10 years.
Wow.
But yeah, but the really thing that changed my whole life was the mountain and the running. So I basically moved to the mountain and I started to like challenge myself bit by bit. So I signed up for a marathon, 42K, and it all really started there with a long distance. And I had a lot of trauma, but eventually I get filled with new memories with the long distance running and adventures, and yeah, became really strong.
Amazing. So, what drew you to the Jungle Ultra? And can you tell me a bit about the Jungle Ultra?
Uh, I don't know where to start because I mean, the thing was my last race was at the Atacama Crossing. So I did a lot of stage races like in the desert, 250 Ks, but I didn't want to get stuck there. So I wanted a really unique and a really different challenge. And then I saw Beyond the Ultimate, the jungle race, and it just blew my mind. And I must say, it was wild. It was a wild adventure. And everything, because in the jungle, everything is alive. But I saw the race and it just blew my mind totally. It was up and down and steep, and the jungle was really, everything was alive. So if you just watch the ground, everything was like moving. And it was this beautiful, gorgeous butterflies, electric blue, who were like hand shapes. And it was a lot of animals, spider monkeys, and yeah, like mind blowing. If you just touch something, it was just, yeah, savage, but magical.
Wow. So tell me about your experience then, kind of setting off on that first day. Just kind of walk me through some of the things that you experienced.
I was quite nervous at the start, and you can feel the vibe from like all the runners. And it started really quite nice, like downhill, and we went into the terrain a little bit. But then suddenly it was a little bit Mad Max, because then it was like steep downhills and down into a river and climbing with a rope just straight up. So it was quite whoa, and a lot of animals. So it was like, yeah, now it starts. So it's really mind blowing just from day one.
What sort of like roller coaster of emotions did you go through? Because you did like complete it kind of all the way through. Was there kind of the sense of I can do this, or was this a sense of like I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this?
I felt I was really strong in the race. And as you can see, I have one arm. So in some places it was really steep, and it was like ropes and stuff. And I managed it quite, it was fine because I'm very strong. But some parts it was like you just, okay, going for it, you know. So I took a lot of risks some parts of the race. But the thing was that I felt really strong, so I wasn't scared. But at the last, like the long run, and the long day and the stage, 75K stage, I was at checkpoint 3, and I know that I managed like the cutoff time, and if I get through it, I would win the women's field. But when I get like up the jungle hill, I was so tired. And then all kinds of stuff started happening. It was so steep, big trees, some big rocky stones fall down like down the jungle, and a lot of noise. And I was so tired. So I just started crying. And I, okay, come on, you can do this. So I tried, and then I just pushed through it. And it was a lot ups and downs, and also the terrain was so beautiful that you really get the power from the environment. It was so beautiful. So sometimes you just forget about all the like the pain and how tired you were, and you were just everything because of the beauty that you saw. So you get a lot of energy from it.
Yeah. So were you running through the night then through the jungle?
Absolutely.
Wow. Tell me about that. Tell me about that. What was that like?
Oh my gosh, it was so it was dark, and it was really steep, and it was like a lot of animals. You can see like fireflies and yeah, all kinds of animals, and a lot of noise. But it was really tough down the steep mountain, uh, and a lot of stuff like happened, like a little bit loose rocks, and yeah, and the magical thing about the jungle is that you're never alone. You can always like hear something, or something just fire itself down like trees, or so it was really dark and dramatic, and all the noise, and you were tired, and yeah.
Wow. It sounds
And
amazing.
yeah, and the nature is so wild. It's like you were going this small track, and suddenly it was like a big tree in front of it, and like in the sides you can just see it was down. So I was afraid as some parts of it, but and then you push, and yeah, you feel better, and yeah, ups and downs.
Wow.
So
So how do you think you kind of going into this, you do have one arm, kind of what sort of adaptations do you think, you kind of had to make that maybe others wouldn't have found so difficult maybe?
the things is you have the backpack in the river. I fall on my back like tush in the river. So you have to be really strong, and like okay, up from the river, keep going. So but I think the main thing is to believe that you can do it, because I strongly believe that I can manage the race with one hand. And also then it like I managed it, but it was quite some parts like with the rocks and stuff where it was steep, that you basically have to lean on the mountain wall to keep balance and stuff. And of course, on the right side, I don't have an arm, so I was a little bit vulnerable. Like I had to really put the force in the legs and the balance. So it was a little bit like this, but and some parts I have to take off the backpack to be a little bit safer with the balance, and just throw the backpack and uh, continue, and then pick it up. So, and in the river crossings, I was a little bit because I have a really good balance, but because it's really a force in the river and the stream and everything. But I did quite good in the rivers. I used a pole, but I think the main thing is to go all in, and when you think you can do something, you can really do it.
What kind of nutrition were you taking on through this? Kind of what were you eating at the checkpoints? What were you eating throughout?
I went this race because I thought, when I love vegan food, but I was thinking about, okay, now you are visiting the lungs of the earth, like the world. So I did all vegan diet in the whole race.
Wow.
So yeah, so it was really, so basically I eat in the morning. I ate oatmeal, like 450 calories. And as snack, I had some Cliff Bars. They're a little bit heavy, like bricks. But some Cliff Bars. I had a lot of Tailwind and peanut butter. So tailwind, peanut butter, and Cliff Bars as snack. And after I had a dinner in the afternoon, like 1,000 calories of kind of vegetable, rice, and yeah. So yeah.
Did you feel like that kind of really you got what you needed from that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think some food it feeds inflammation, and some food does not. So I find I try to eat as vegan as I can, and I find that I have much lesser inflammations, and actually the body recovers quite faster. But what I do recognize, it's when you get hungry, you get really hungry.
Yeah, definitely. So how did it feel kind of that last couple miles when you knew that you were going to win, or was it right up until the finish line? Kind of where was your headspace at?
It was very emotional because my mother died 1.5 years ago, and the 8th of June was her birthday. So in the dark, in the light, all these emotions, and I pushed really, really hard. I was out for a lot of hours, but I was so when I come down to the road and just I had like 10 kilometers left. It was amazing, but I can feel like my whole face was like pale. I can really feel my body, and I was so focused on just going for one step, one step, one step, and like push forward. But it was absolutely amazing. I felt so strong, and yeah.
Wow, it's an absolutely like an incredible achievement. It really, really is.
Yeah.
What sort of kit did you find essential kind of through that you maybe couldn't have lived without? What sort of shoes were you wearing all the way through the event?
Yeah, I used like hookahs,
Mhm.
and I had some trouble with my baggage. It actually get lost on the airport,
No.
but I yeah. But for me, I think the main thing was to have like a pole. Of course, the hammock was really the insect repellent was really, really to like spray the insect repellent on the mosquito net, because many they have like all insects like coming on the net, and you just spray the net and stuff. The Ingenie socks was really, really helpful, and to take a little bit baby powder in like the shoes, because the race is always, your feet are always wet all the time. But to actually have a pair of socks for every stage, like dry and to like put on your feet every day was really, really good and helpful. And I think that's why I managed to keep my feet as healthy as I could. And basically because everything is wet, so I had a thin sleeping bag, only 0 degrees, 275 grams. But to take like the bib bag to put like over the sleeping bag was really helpful to keep out because it's also waterproof. So yeah, but I think like the main thing in the race, I always nag about the electrolytes. It's the important thing, like the salt tablets too. You get tired, but to really have a plan on your salts and electrolytes and just have a drinking plan. Yeah.
Amazing. So how much did you sleep then through the entire stage?
Oh, very, very little.
Was it a kind of a sense of you got to a checkpoint, you maybe had 10, 15 minutes and then carried on?
I didn't actually, I just went through every checkpoint, just kept going, refill my water, yeah, and I just went off, but you don't sleep so well. But I must say the sounds of the jungle when you're sleeping in a hammock it's like like a big symphony. You
Yeah.
just like listening, and yeah, it's
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah. How do you think you can inspire other people with disabilities to get out there and explore?
You know, I've seen from my life when I started my running, 2016, I had some kind of stuff going on, like in my leg, and they said, "Oh no, you can't run," and I said, "Yes, I can," and I signed up for my first marathon with the injury, and for me to push that goal was so meaningful inside of me, so I decided to do it against all odds. And that marathon led me all the way to Africa, to Atacama crossing, to the jungle race. So that was the start of like everything. But I will say the main thing is to think that you can do it and don't listen to naysayers. The bigger dreams you have, you will get more misunderstood. And to just believe in yourself and your own goals, and don't think about what you can't or what can go wrong. You have to think like it's I'm going to make it, and yeah, to be strong and think that you can do it. That's the main thing. You
I,
don't have to be perfect. Me, I have some stuff going on, like yeah, but I do the running, and over like my body is very healthy. Some stuff going on, but yeah, to just believe in yourself and don't let other people get into your mind or something.
that's so inspiring. What's
I
next?
agree. Uh, I think Grand to Grand in Grand Canyon. So yeah,
Wow. Thank you so much for coming on with me today.
yeah.
Is there anything else you want to mention?
No, but I must say about the dreams and goals. It's a lot of healing in big goals and to push boundaries, and yeah, it's a lot of healing in it. And you know, you walked away and you get stronger and stronger. So keep on pushing, and yeah, go for those big dreams.
Thank you very much for coming on with me today. I've really appreciated it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.